Good morning, class. Welcome to the online classes for physics of class 10th. Here, this is the second chapter for your NCRT book. If you see your refresher, then there is the sixth chapter, that is human eye and the colorful world. Okay, so here we are going to learn about what the human eye is. That is the first part. Second one is the colorful world. That is what are the different light rays which we are seeing in our daily lives and how the phenomena are going with this light rays. So let's start the chapter, that what we are going to learn in this chapter. First topic, from the lesson's title itself, it is clear that we are going to learn about human eye. Okay, so what this human eye is, we know that already in the previous chapter what we have seen, that what was the light, how the phenomena of the light work, what are the properties of light, what are the different objects that we can see around us, that is translucent, transparent, opaque objects, which are luminous and which are non-luminous, and how the objects are enabled to us that by the light reflection itself on that object. If we talk about refraction, that is the light ray passing through one medium to the other medium, and these bending of the light ray passing from one medium to other medium. What's the refraction? Right, refraction we have seen. We have seen the types of lenses. We have seen the type of mirrors also. So what we have seen, that the refraction of light, that is by the lenses, it may be convex or the concave lenses. We have seen that reflection by the mirrors, that is concave or the convex mirror. So we have seen that these are the phenomena of the light which we have seen their image formation, rules. And here in this chapter we are going to see some more phenomena. Okay, so here we are going to see that lenses that we have studied in the previous chapter, that is the concave and the convex lens. But somewhere else also you have seen that lenses, that is the man-made lenses that we are using in our eyes also, right? So to change the appearance or change the color we used to use it, right? So what we can say, that eyes is also having some form of lenses, right? If we are taking that lens to change our appearance of our eyes, you may have seen that it is small transparent artificial lens, and it used to be a convex lens because it is bulged out surface, and we just used to impart on our eyes. So what we can say, that our eyes are also a form of convex lens, right? So human eye, it works on the refraction of light. It is a natural convex lens that is made of a transparent material, because we know that our eyes are made of transparent material. But whenever you try to see an eye, then it is burst out from the outward. So this is what a form of a convex lens. And it is made of a transparent living material, and it helps us to see things that are around us. So what we can say, that eye is the most important optical instrument that we are having with us. So without eyes, I think no one can see any object. So all other optical instruments, whether they are with us or not, but without eyes, they will be of no use. Because if we are having an optical instrument also, if we want to see through it, or we want to know, or we want to discover something, then also we should have some eyes. Okay, we should have some eye diffraction is also there, then also okay, but we should have eyes, and the refraction should happen. Otherwise, there is no use of other optical instruments also. So, eyes are the most important optical instrument that is gifted to us itself, right? So, here in the first topic, we will be seeing about what this construction of the human eye is. What we have seen, that eye is made up of transparent material. It is a bulged out surface, so it is a form of a convex lens. It is made up of a transparent material itself, right? So we are going to see that what the human eye is. So we can say that the human eye is just a sensitive organ, right? It is a sensitive organ that we are having in our body. That's one of the valuable also, because we can just see this world, or we can just differentiate between the object or any optical instrument. Then we are using this eyes itself. So eye is like a camera or an optical instrument that used to record, that used to capture the images of the object that are around us. right? So it is impossible to identify something if you are not having our eyes. If we are having a lots of optical instrument also, they are of no use if we are not having our eyes with us, because we cannot see that optical instrument also. Okay. So in the first thing we are going to see that the construction, what that means, that what are the parts of the human eye, how they work, and what are the functions of these parts, and how the image formation done in our eyes. Okay. Simple thing, first understand that we are having a lens format of our eyes which is in the burst form. So the rays will enter into our eyes, and that entering lights will have some phenomenon with this burst out surface, and we get the image of that object, right? This is a simple formula, or we can say simple phenomenon that is happening with the light rays in our eyes. So what it happened that the light rays enters our eye, it just enters and forms some image with the help of the ray diagrams, and we have seen that what were the rules for the convex lens and what is the refraction done in that. So following all that rules, it will prepare an image. So we will be seeing what are the parts in the eyes which will be helpful for us to make that description about a construction, working, and that function of the eyes. So firstly we will see what are the main parts of the eyes. Here you can see the figure also, that is eye. This is a spherical shape, but we are seeing only the bulged out surface from our eyes outside surface. If we talk about the inside one, then the complete circle will be formed. So what are the main parts that you can see? One is cornea. Here you can see what the cornea is, that is the front part of the eyes. That is the front part of the eyes is said to be the cornea. Okay. See here that this is what the cornea is. So this front part is the cornea. It is a transparent substance also. Okay. After that we can see the second thing, iris. What this iris is, whenever the light ray come to our eyes or parallel light beams enter our eyes, they enter through the cornea itself, because if they have to come, then they have to enter these lines. So entering the cornea, they will be moving, and instead you can see that behind the cornea there will be iris. So after cornea you can see here there is iris. So what this iris will do, iris is a colored, and it is a membrane. You can say there is a color flat membranes are there which are said to be the iris. So behind the cornea we can see the iris, that is a colored flat and a ring shaped membrane. Okay. The next part, that is iris, you have seen. Now you will be seeing the pupil. So see here in the diagram that if this is an iris, this small hole structure is there after the iris. So this is what the hole in the middle of the iris, because this is what the iris and here it was. So the middle part in the iris is said to be the pupil. And these pupil appears black, right, which we are seeing in our eyes, that is pupil, in between the small black dot is there. So that is what the pupil is. And what the iris is, that outside that black part we are having a line, that is a pupil. And if we talk about cornea, then the transparent cover on this is said to be the cornea, which is convex in shape, that the outer surface of the cornea is a bulged out surface. It is made up of a transparent substance. Now you can see that this was cornea, this was iris, and this were the pupil. Sorry, iris, and this is the iris, and this is what the small hole is the pupil. So in between these you can see this is a medium is there, right? And what that medium is, it is made up of a transparent medium but a jelly like structure. Okay, so in between that, a jelly like structure, that is a flexible material, is there. Okay, so it is filled with a jelly like structure. Similarly, this pupil and the lens, this pupil will appear black, and this cornea is the outer covering which is bulged out surface and which appears to be the convex lens. And what was the iris? That it is a flat colored ring shaped membrane. So next thing, if you are talking about this hole, so back of this hole, the second part will be the lens, because it is the two shaped, right? You can see here, that is one part, here is the other part. So this was the eye lens is, because it is a convex, so it is eye lens. Okay, because it is bulged out surface, so it will be a convex lens. So eye lens is a convex lens made up of transparent and the flexible material, like we have seen here also. So it is made up of a transparent flexible jelly like structure. So these structure can change its shape. You may have seen that sometimes we used to make our eyes to expand that lines, and sometimes it gets diverged and sometimes it gets converged. What that means, that the shape of these islands are changing. So what these islands are doing, they are contracting, means they can become thick or thin. And why they are doing like this? To focus the line on the, that light rays are coming on the cornea. So entering that cornea, they will be passing through the iris and will be going to pupil. And that pupil's backside, we are having a lens, that is a bulged out surface, that is a convex lens is there. And after that, eye lens were made up of, they were made up of transparent, soft and the flexible material, that is jelly structure. And this jelly structure is also made up of protein itself. Okay, and we have seen that this flexible eye lens can change its shape to thick or the thin to focus the light. Okay, so this eye lens is held here, held in the position also, you can see, by the ligaments. Okay, so here also muscles will be there, ligaments will be there. Okay, so one end of this will be attached to the ligaments and the other ends will be attached to the muscles. So this is what the ciliary muscles will be, because the other end is attached to the ciliary muscles. What the ciliary muscles will do, because we know that the muscles used to contract and relax, they can expand, they can change the shape also. So we can change the thickness of this eye lens by these muscles, with the help of the ciliary muscles. So they can change or make it focused light rays. We know that whenever the light rays enters, they get reflected or refracted. After reflection or refraction, they will meet at a point, that is focus. And what the distance between that, the pole and the focus, was focal length. To set the focal length or to prepare the focus, these eye lenses changes its thickness. And how can they change the thickness? With the help of the ciliary muscles. So these eyes can converge or the diverge to change its focal length. And we know that we can change the shape of these lenses by the ciliary muscles itself. So focal length is used to be fixed, right? We used to be fixed. But for the camera, if you see, then it is fixed. But if you say that this focal length of the convex lens that is present in our eyes, they can be changed. But the focal length in the camera, because convex lens are using to be have the fixed focal length. But here you can see that the convex lens of the eyes are having not a fixed focal length. They can just change its focal length also. Okay. So inside the eyes, they change this focal length by changing its action, that is with the help of the ciliary muscles itself. Now what we have seen, that the outer surface was cornea. When the light rays pass to this eye, then outer surface is a transparent surface. So these light rays will be moving inside, that is this corner parts are to be iris, and inside the iris there is a small hole, that is pupil, and the back side of the pupil it is said to be the bulged out surface, it is a concave mirror, convex mirror, or a lens we can say, because it is thicker in the middle part and thinner at the edges, so it is a convex lens. And when these light rays falls, this lens adjusts it to focus the light. So we can say that on adjusting the focus, the focal length will be changeable. So in camera it is fixed, but for the eyes the focal length can be changed. So after this, ciliary muscles which are able for the action of this lenses, so that they can converge or the changes size and shape. So what they will do now, the refraction has done, because the lens is setting its focus and changing its focal length with the help of the action of the ciliary muscles. So now what they will do, that the light ray will pass forward. Now what this light rays will do, they will be seeing on the either end of the eyes, and at the back this refraction can be seen, and this back part is said to be the retina. Okay, so this is what the retina is. So the screen used to form the image in different examples which we have seen, mirror, plane mirror, or the lenses. But if we talk about the eyes, the screen on which the image used to be formed, that in the eyes it will be retina. So the image is formed in the retina. So retina is the back part of the eye. It is just like a film that we use in the camera, right? And retina is used to be very sensitive, in which the large number of sensitive cells are present that are very delicate. So there is a delicate membrane is used. You can see the pink line is there. The delicate membrane is used, which have the large number of light sensitive cells, which are used to be said as cones or the rods. So what the cones and rods will do, the cones and the rods will be for the intensity of the light, and cones will be for the color of the object. Okay, so now we have seen that the eye, to change its focal length or the focus, or to move from here to here, because our eyes used to move in the directions, so there will be some muscles also. So these muscles or the nerves required in our eyes are be the optic nerves. So we can say that the blind spot is present inside our eye, which is called as the blind spot, means where the image will be not formed. And why this not formed? Because at the junction of the optic nerves, that the junction where these nerves meet, and you can see here this is all the optic nerves are. So the junction where this optic nerve, this is optic nerve, and this is what the retina was. So the point where this both meet each other, at that point we used to say it as blind spot. And blind spot is a small area of the retina that does not allow the light. And what does happen, where this optic nerve will leave the eye, there the image formation will not be done, and that too there will be no cell. That is rods and cones we have seen, that is the intensity of light and the color of the object, so they both will be not there. So what we can say, that when the object falls on the blind spot, it cannot be seen by the eyes. Okay, so what we have seen, that whenever the light rays or the parallel beam of light rays coming from a source, it just hits our eyes transparent medium. So when these light rays are just touching our front part, that is transparent medium of the cornea, then what the light rays used to do, they will move forward, that is they will be coming to the iris. And what the iris is, that is the two-sized shape. You can see here, this is what the iris is, and in between there is a spot which is said to be pupil, and the back of it is said to be the lens that is in the shape of the bulged outside. It's the convex lens, and this convex lens are attached. From the front it is with the iris, and the back it is with the ciliary muscles, and these action of ciliary muscles are allowed to change its shape and the size of that of the eye lens. So eye lens just make it thicker or the thinner, then it can just change the focus. So on changing to focus to the light rays, we can say that the focal length will also be changed. Similarly, in camera the focal length is fixed, but the convex lens, it is not fixed. That is, in our eyes it is not fixed. It can be changed with the action of our ciliary muscle. That's why what we used to do, we can see a distant object, we used to focus it also, like camera we used to do, no, but it has some focal length, but our eyes does not have it. We can change it, because it is at a near distance or at a far, we can just fix it. So what that means, that the eyes can be changed by the action of the ciliary muscles. And similarly, after this light rays passing from the ciliary muscles, it will go through the screen where the image is formed, and what that image will formed here, that is behind the retina. So this is what the retina is. It is like a delicate membrane. It will have some large number of the sensitive cells which are named as rods and the cones, which shows or corresponds to intensity of light or the color of the objects. And we have seen the blind spot also. This is what the optical nerves are. So the point where this optical nerve and the retina meets, so this point used to be the blind spot. And what this blind spot means, that is, whenever the light rays or the image of an object falls on that where the optic light rays are meeting the optic nerves, then the image is said to be the blind spot. That is, image cannot be seen by our eyes. Okay. And the next thing, we also know that we are having the eyelids. Then when we open that eyelid, the light can enter the eye, and when we just close it, no eye lights enter the eye. And the space between the eye lens and the cornea, this space between the eye lens and the cornea is like a watery liquid. We have already seen that it will be a jelly like structure, which is said to be the aqueous humor. So this is what the aqueous humor is. So it is a watery or jelly like liquid present in between the cornea and the eye lens, and the space is said to be vitreous humor. It is said to be vitreous humor, that is a distance. And what is aqueous humor is, that is a water like structure that is present in between our iris and the eye lens. And how this working happen, we know that whenever our eyelids are closed, then the light ray does not enter our eyes. So when we just open our eyes, the light rays enter. So the light rays coming from the object kept in front of us, they try to enter. Let us consider the parallel light beams rays are entering into our eyes after opening our eyelid. So what this light rays will do? So they will pass through the cornea. Firstly, they will pass through the cornea, and after they will passing through the pupil and falls on the eye lens. After passing through the cornea, it will get into pupil and will be falling on the eye lens. And what the eye lens is, that is a convex lens, bulged out surface. And what it is used to do, it can focus, means you can say that it can change its shape and size to focus the point. So here what the convex lens used to do, we have read that convex lens produces real and the inverted image, and it always converges the light rays. So what this cornea's light rays will pass through the iris and then will be fall on the eye lens after passing through the pupil, because it will pass through the pupil, then it will fall on the eye lens. And what the eye lens were, that is convex lens. So it will converge the light rays and will produce the real and the inverted image. Okay. So eye lens is the main part where the whole image of an object is formed, or the light rays convergence is mainly done by this part, and the image is formed on the retina due to this convergence of the light rays by the eye lens. So the retina has what it will do, that at the back of the muscles there will be retina, that is back of the eye lens, because it is held it with the ciliary muscle. So back of it there will be retina, which is filled with made up of a transparent soft flexible material. It is made up of jelly, which is made up of proteins. So the light rays entering the eyes after the convergence by the eye lens will focus the image exactly on the back point, that is on the retina. And what this image formed will be doing? This image formed on the retina is conveyed to the brains. It is conveyed to the brain, and these optic nerves are just conveying this message to our brain. Okay, that's how our brain used to identify an object. Okay, so the sensation of vision is given rise by this eyes or by the optic nerves. So we know that retina has a large number of light sensitive cells, right? Light sensitive cells are. So these light sensitive cells, we have seen that it is a large number, which was rods and the cones. Rods are responding to the intensity of light, whereas the cones will respond to the color of the object. So when the image falls on the retina, then these light sensitive cells, that is intensity and the color of course, that is cones and the rods, will get activated. And this activation, what they will do, they will generate electric signals. Okay, and these retinas send these signals to the brain and with the help of an optic nerve. And when this optical nerve will be sending and give rise to the sensation of vision, that we have to see that object, like something light is just falling on us, we used to see fastly, right? So our electric signals are passing, they are generating, and it will trying our brain to give rise to the sensation with the help of the optic nerves. And we have seen that the image formed by the convex is real and inverted. So what the image formed on the retina will be, it is inverted. But our mind, what it does, that it interprets the image as that of an erect object. Okay, so eye consists of a convex lens. It have a screen. It will form a real and the inverted image, that too on the retina, and then we are able to see that object. So this is what the working of the eye can be said as. That is, whenever the light rays falls on the cornea, it will pass through the iris and it falls on the pupil, and at the back of it the eye lenses are there which are held with the ciliary muscle, so that can it adjust the focus point. And on adjusting, we can say that the focal length are also changeable, and this ciliary muscles action will allow the body to change its shape, and the side, that is lens, can be changed as thicker or it can be changed into thinner also. And the back part of it, that is a transparent jelly structure that is made up of proteins, is said to be the retina, and optical nerves that are connected from our eyes to the brain. So the point where this retina and the optic nerves are meet, if the image formation or the image of an object falls on that point, then the image cannot be seen with the eye. So that is why that spot is said to be the blind spot, where this retina and the optic nerve meet. So whenever the eyes, and this what happened, the image is formed on the retina itself, and the image formed by the retina will be passed to our brain or sent to the brain with the help of the optical nerves. And we know that the light sensitive cells are present on the retina, which get activated when the light rays formed on it or the image is formed on it. Now what they will do, they will generate electric signals, and these electric signals are sent to the brain, and that through the medium of the optic nerve. And what this optic nerves, by sending the image, will do, they will try to raise the sensation of vision that we have to see. And we know that the image formed will be of inverted and the real. Okay, so we have a lens, that is eye lens, were made up of convex. We have a screen, that is image formed on the retina. Eye lenses will form a real image on the retina, and that due to which we are able to see the objects. So human eye is similar to that, like a camera itself, that it captures the image and it enabling us to see the image. Okay, So human is like a camera, but in the eye there will be a lens, and the image of an object is light sensitive, that is, it will generate electric signals which are passed through the optic nerves to the brain, and it will raise the sensation of the vision. Similarly, a camera is also having the same lens also, but it is not having light sensitive. Okay, and after that the convex lens will form the real and the inverted image of an object on the film. That is, in the camera we have a film, but for eye you can say that at the back of a retina there is a light sensitive cells which will act as a photographic film. From there the image will be formed and the optical nerves will be sending it to the brain. So this is what the human eye, its construction and how that it works. Okay, so thank you class. In the next we will be seeing what are the functions of these different parts and what are the next topics. So thank you.